Okay, we are back. The last time we were here, we were talking about the dating, and we want to continue that conversation. We Today we want to look into the series on maybe the hard conversations.
Yeah.
What are some of those hard conversations that you had during your dating? What are the things that almost broke you up? All what really broke you up, you could share with us. And those conversations have to happen definitely. Otherwise, you go with certain skeletons that you keep trying to protect, and it doesn't make a very good marriage. Do you remember some of our hard conversations?
Hard conversations. Yes. There were many, but I'll start with the hard one. Hardest. Our hardest conversation. Not, I don't know. Was it the hardest? The one about money.
Maybe in your world. So
In my
that's
world.
why I asked you.
In my
Yes.
world, yes, it was a very hard conversation because you reached a stage and you said, Lucy, you're over nagging me about this.
Yeah. Yes, you were. I think also it was from our personalities. Then it's different. I'm more laid back.
So, getting
And,
married, sorry, when we were dating, my opinion was we need to talk about everything. And one of the things, we need to talk about everything, but also I wanted us to, in our dating, to work towards a marriage where we are one in everything. And what I had noticed in many couples is that money was a big cause of conflict. I'd seen it in the family where I grew up, and you also, I think, saw it where you grew up. As the parents, everyone handled their money separately. They didn't handle it jointly. And going into marriage, I didn't want us to go into marriage like that. I wanted us to be one in everything. So I started a conversation on money with this gentleman, and by then we didn't even have money. Maybe we were annoyed because we didn't have money and we were talking a lot about money. It's like telling a person who has no house and all your conversations are about how to get one. Anyway, we talked about money. What made you feel nagged about it?
I think it's just the way you were talking,
How?
not more about the topic. How you bring the topic out, how you kept pushing and pushing. I think it wasn't more of a topic. It was more of how it was brought out over time, which I couldn't see then. Is that I realized maybe we could have chosen different times to talk about that. Timing is good, and yeah, maybe now I know better.
I also
mature.
think because we didn't have a good practice we were picking from. So it was a hard conversation because both of us we were talking about doing something that we had not seen a lot being done. Couples managing their finances together. We didn't have many examples. So like we were starting the conversation from scratch. You are in these situations where people are saying a woman should have a kasente kechikazi. A man should be the one to handle all the bills, except the smaller bills. So maybe because we also didn't have benchmarks, it made it a little harder. Maybe, but are you glad we had that conversation? Maybe. Honey, say the truth. Anyway, that was one of the hard conversations we had because we talked about it a lot of time. But let me tell you, we got good out of having that hard conversation because we eventually agreed on how we shall manage money together. And it has worked so well for us for these 14 years we have been married.
Yeah, and you could share with us some of the hard conversation that you're having. It could be a healthy issue. It could be an issue of someone who was in your past. It could be a child, a spouse. It could be a trauma you went through. It's anything. You share with us some of the hard conversations so that maybe others can learn from you.
And also, do you think dating is a season when you should talk about those hard conversations. I think you've had some people advising others, don't tell him
And
that
I think that
until
is a given. This thing should be the time when you talk about those things, because it's the time when you say, when it is, yeah, take me as I am, jagalanga windi. This is the full package. You
Yeah.
either take it or so that you make a decision and say, yeah, I will go with this. This is the package I would take. While some people might choose to say, of course, relating it, I love agriculture, so I'll relate it to agriculture again. While another person would say, I find it easier to cut down a forest. Another one would say, oh, me, I think I find it easier to dig in a swamp, cut down a swamp. And another one would say, you two, those two things are hard. There's this plant called lumu, or swing, and for me that is the hardest thing. So it's a mixture, personalities, where you've grown up, your experiences.
Yeah.
It's not a one size fits all.
And
But,
you've talked about health and reminded me of another hard conversation we had to have. Remember when you had an operation, and after it they said you may or may not have children.
it's a condition called testicular torsion. Yeah, your testes are long, I think, and so sometimes they roll, and when they roll, they strangle themselves, and they cut off blood supply.
Yeah.
And if it's not done within 24 hours, I think, yeah, you can become infertile.
Yeah,
so
so when
we
we-
didn't know how long we've
Yeah.
had it.
So when we were still in our dating period, Ronnie had to undergo that surgery, and after it, they said he may or may not have children. So we had to have that conversation also. And I decided to go with him.
Yeah, but it was one of the conversations that we had of, yeah, in case we don't have the children, then what? And so
Yes.
by the time we went in, we knew where we were going.
Yeah, so Naya, I love you
Yeah.
so much, Bambi. Can
You
you imagine
still
I was
do.
willing to give up children
Yeah, you
for
still
you?
do. Of course, I'm a dude.
Give me a peck. Give me a peck.
Nah, you're closer to my chick.
Give me a peck. You're the one thanking me.
Nah, it's more of me. Anyway, so that you drop your comments and maybe share your experiences when we shall hear from you.